Hello friends, we are back and this time we're going to tell you how use of PI controller, proportional integral controller. It increases the order because we have to see what are the cases in which we have second order system. This is one such case where the process is inherently first order system, but the moment we go in for any kind of feedback control in this, specifically in this case proportional integral controller, not just proportional, mind you, proportional integral controller, in that case the first order system, it starts exhibiting second order dynamics due to presence of control system. I repeat, control system containing integral term. Now we will delve upon these things later also in detail, but right now, as you can see, you have a kind of tank, and the flow input to this is the forcing function, and you have over here the height or level of the tank, and you have some restriction and the flow was moving out. This was the case when it was without any control. Any change in Fi over here, it brought about a certain change in the height, or you can say the level of the tank. If it was unregulated, if this restriction is constant and the flow F naught is dependent on H, given by the formula A into dH by dt is equal to Fi minus F naught, and then further F naught is equal to H upon R. We are not taking the second case F naught is equal to H upon R, because in this particular case this F naught is not equal to H upon R, but rather this F naught will be determined by the opening of this valve, and the opening of this valve will be determined by the output of this proportional integral controller, and the output of this proportional integral controller will be governed by whatsoever is the level. And not only the level, this level we are going to compare with the desired value. At the steady state, it's at the desired value. If the level goes high, then in that case this proportional integral controller will open the valve, will increase the F naught to bring this H down. In case the level goes down, then to bring it back, what this proportional integral controller will do, will give the command to the valve to close the valve in a manner that F naught decreases, and as F naught decreases, this height, it starts increasing and it starts to come up in the way to reach the desired value. So the desired, any deviation from the desired value is taken as error. This H dash, as we used to take it earlier, now this H dash is taken as error, and that error becomes the input to the controller, and this controller has an algorithm. The algorithm, as the name states, is proportional integral controller. That is, the output is going to give you, the controller is going to give you an output that is going to open the valve in such a manner that the output obtained from this PI controller is, number one, proportional to the error. You already have defined error. Error is the deviation from the set point or the desired point. It's proportional to the error, plus there is another term in the algorithm which says it's proportional to the integral of the error. It will not only depend upon how large is the error, but will also depend upon how long the error persists with respect to time. Its integral means it's integral dot dt, integral with respect to time. So how large is the error and how long the error persists, how long, for how much time, so that also will be taken care of. So this is the kind of controller I'm giving you a brief idea. We shall be going here step by step, so that you, at that point of time, you will be focusing more on the mathematics now you have got the concept of what is a PI controller, what is a feedback control, how it's going to change a normal dynamics of the first order process. We see the final dynamics that once it is there with the entire feedback mechanism with a proportional integral controller. In that case, if at all I bring any change in Fi, then what will be the change in the height or level of the tank? What will be the dynamics? Will it necessarily be second order dynamics or not? Even this is something interesting which you'll be seeing. Of course, it is not. Necessarily, it is not. That's why I said it can be, it may not be. So, in what conditions it will be, in under what conditions it will not be exhibiting second order, and what kind of second order, of course we have already seen that the moment we go in for integral controller you will have second order, but it will be second order with critically damped, or it will be second order with under damped or over damped. So all those conditions which we shall be studying, we shall be seeing in the coming few slides. This we have seen. I think we are very sure now about this process. So once again, at steady state, as we have been always been telling you, at steady state this dH by dt term is 0. So whatsoever is Fi, it becomes Fis. Whatsoever is Fo, it becomes Fos. So nothing new about it. In terms of deviation variables, again nothing new about it. H becomes H dash, Fi becomes Fi dash, Fo becomes Fo dash. The only thing is that now H dash is from steady state. Ultimately, that will become the error to the PI controller, proportional integral controller. But that we will see a bit later. Once again, H dash is equal to H minus Hs, Fi dash is equal to, these are all the normal terms which we have been studying about, and F dash of the output is equal to the output variable minus the output of the flow it was at the steady state. Now, once again, as we have already told you, that the deviation error, the deviation H dash is used as an error. It becomes the input to the controller. So the input of the controller is H dash, and the outflow of the controller is equal to whatsoever is the outflow at steady state, plus whatsoever is the error multiplied by a constant term, proportional term, it's called the gain, proportional gain. And the same gain over here divided by tau I, this tau I again depends upon what is the integral gain. So this entire thing may be called integral gain. As such, we'll study all these things in detail later. Into integral of the error with respect to time, starting from time t is equal to 0, when everything was at steady state, when this h dash t was also 0, but thereafter something happened and this h dash started coming into being. So this kc and tau I are the parameters with positive values, and they depend upon the setting of the controller. We'll study all about the setting of the controllers. As I said, it's a very good and exciting kind of subject. You will be having a lot of fun thereafter. But right now, we just see that this is the proportional control because it's proportional to the error, and this is called the integral gain in totality, where Kc is the constant for the proportional and tau I is the integral time constant we're taking over here. Into integral, it's by definition it's proportional to integral, so that's why we have taken this algorithm. And mind you, this FOS will go on the left hand side. It will become FO minus FOS, and that is nothing but F dash O. F dash O, or you may call it FO dash, whatsoever we feel like calling it. So this is the equation which we have, the fundamental equation for the PI controller, which is something new, and we'll be repeating it a number of times later also. But right now you have this idea of proportional integral controller. We want you to build the steps, the concepts step by step as they are. So the first case is, as I've already told you, if there is no deviation, in that case the outflow remains the same. So the valve remains the same, it neither closes nor opens. In case this H dash is negative, that is the level goes down. In that case, what you will do is you don't want it to run dry. So the outflow should decrease so that the level may start rising again. And the third case is that when H dash is greater than 0, the level is going up. We don't want it to overflow. So in that case, we will increase the effluent rate. We want F naught to be greater than FOS. Going by this equation, as I already told you, that F input, there is some change given in the input means the flow in input increases or decreases, some change in that. So that is going to introduce some error, and that error is acted upon by the controller, and that is going to give you the f naught dash, and that f naught dash is put in the equation, basic equation of the accumulation, which we have been going in for number of times. As we see, if you want me to repeat, A into dH dash by dt is equal to Fi dash minus F naught dash. This is what I've been telling you, and this F naught dash is now given by the equation Kc into H dash plus Kc upon tau I into integral of t, integral from 0 to t from of H dash into dt. So this is the value of F naught dash. I've just put it over there, and this is the equation which I've got over here finally. So we give the equation a try and take its Laplace transform. So what you get after the Laplace transform is, we all know, if you want, if you insist, I will repeat that this h dh dash by dt, when you take the Laplace transform of that, this entire thing will get multiplied by s. Why? Because it's a derivative over here, and similarly because you have integral over here. So whenever you take Laplace of integral of a Laplace of integral, then you have the term 1 by s. This is term 1 by s. So this derivative and integral, all those things are replaced by multiplication by s and division by s. So ultimately, what you have to do is you have to take this h dash s term common, and you ultimately you divide the whole thing by this term kc, and what you get, and you multiply by tau 1, as you can see. So what you get ultimately is this term, as you can see over here. I will not repeat. And from here you're going to get the Laplace transform, and from the Laplace transform we will get the transfer function. Transfer function of output upon input will be given by, this is the output, you divide by the input. So this entire square bracket thing is going to go down into its denominator in the next slide. Let's see how. That's it, my dear friends. The only thing is that we now have simplified it in the standard second order form by giving it the shape of tau square s square plus 2 zeta t tau s plus 1, and we take care here that tau square is this term and 2 zeta tau we have taken as this term, and therefore the value of kp, it's just from the previous equation, just given the names, and we see that from here tau comes equal to this much and zeta comes equal to this much. You need to take care of this term 1 by 2. This 1 by 2 is here. We will be making use of this term zeta is equal to 1 by 2 under the root kc tau upon. This kc is the value of, this kc is the value of proportional gain, and tau is the one which we take it for the integral. So it depends upon the setting of the proportional integral tuned controller. What is the value of kc we are going to set, what is the value of tau I we are going to set. According to that, the value of zeta will be determined, the damping factor will be determined. A, of course, you know, is area of cross section of the tank. So this is coming with the term half. It's coming with the term half. It means that if this entire thing is equal to 2, then zeta is equal to 1, because it's multiplied by half, right? If it is more than 2, zeta will be more than 1. If it is less than 2, zeta will be less than 1. And we all know the significance of zeta. What happens if zeta is equal to 1? It's critically damped. Less than 1, it is underdamped. More than 1, it is overdamped. So this is what we are going to see. The value of zeta actually depends upon the value of Kc and tau I. We have to be very, very careful about tuning the controller, putting the value of Kc, putting the value of tau I, and that is going to affect, because this is in our hands to change the value of tau and to tau I and Kc, that we will be controlling the zeta, the damping factor of this entire Pi feedback controlled level controller as such. So let's come to the concluding slide, that we have the value of Kc and tau I, we may have zeta as less than 1, equal to 1, or more than 1. So again, have a look at zeta over here. You can see, so that this is equal to half. And we see over here that if this entire thing is this entire term, that is Kc into tau 1 upon A, is less than 2, in that case zeta will be less than 1. In that case, this will be having an underdamped system. On the contrary, if it is equal to 2, then zeta is equal to 1. It's critically damped. And if it is greater than 2, zeta is greater than 1. It is overdamped. So in the figure which is going to come, we will see how the output of the level, it changes with a step change in inflow. What happens if there was no controller at all? What happens if there is a controller? And what happens with the changing values of zeta, how it's going to change. So this is what we're going to see in the figure now. Here we are. Here we are now. So without any control, it would have acquired a new value. But with the controller, and depending upon what is the value of zeta, in case this zeta is equal to 1, then it's going to come down and settle quickly without any oscillations, critically damped. And this is the overdamped response. It's not going to settle down so quickly, right? So and this is the value of underdamped response of the second order. So all the three cases are on second order, of course, but depending upon what is the value of zeta, and that also depends upon what is the value of Kc and tau, I choose that the controlled feedback, which was this is typically first order system. You can see this is typically first order system. But the moment you go in for a feedback control, especially with the integral control along with the proportional, of course, then it starts exhibiting a second order dynamics. This is typical second order dynamics in all the three cases which we have discussed. Friends, let's conclude about the various types in which, various situations in which we have second order systems. In case you have first order system which is coupled with the second order system, it becomes third order system. You have a first order system which is coupled with another first order system, it becomes second order system, and so on and so forth. So all those things we have already seen: the interacting types, the non-interacting types, the inherently types. And this, finally we have gone in for the situation where you have a first order system, it is given a feedback and it starts behaving like a second order system. So friends, in case you have any queries or doubts, you can always contact me through phone or Zoom or WhatsApps or whatsoever. Face-to-face interaction also, if allowed, will be there. I will love to see you, and I hope you have enjoyed this session as well. I thank you for being with me once again. I wish you a very safe and happy stay. Bye bye.